And welcome to the 100th Near Reading cast. As always, and for the 100th time, my name is Jono, and I'm joined once again with Joey. How's it going, Joey?
85th time, maybe.
For
should not have given me one of these while recording, because this is
so
all game you're going to hear.
Right,
that.
we're going to put them down now. Okay. So, anyway, festivities are over. We're in the second round of the Expo Regional, which was the 121-person regional at the UK Games Expo in Birmingham. And in the losers bracket, as we can see, Alex White on the left, playing Whizzard, is going to play against Ben Nee on the right, playing Palana. So, now, I don't know what's a good start for this, although an employee strike's pretty good against Palana.
Yeah.
I mean,
employee strike's good against everyone.
Employee strike is good.
Employee strike's influence, because every time someone has an employee strike turn one, they play it. So I'm like, you should run 3 of these maybe.
Yeah, it's tough on the room. But so it's fair to say that employee strike is in here for the likes of IG, that kind of thing, with the decks that really need the hate. But it's effective against Palana.
Yeah.
And this being Whizzard, and it is a standard Dumble Fork, it's going to have Wildside, which means it's going to Palana's a pad campaign, right? Yeah. As soon as that goes down.
Well, it's like 1 credit to stop them getting much more than 1 credit. It just makes sense to play it. Really.
Yeah.
You're going to draw almost every turn, so yeah, it's strong. But it's strong against everyone. Like I have 3 currents in most of my Anarch decks. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should try and make them employee strikes instead.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm looking forward to the new one. For a second. The one that gets the loser credit. I'm just going to try using that.
So it's going to be. So it's interesting. It's going to be a little while before Palana scores anyway, so you know the employee strike's going to stick for a little bit.
Unless they're running super statics.
Yeah. I mean, would you play it to kill employee strike? Maybe. I mean, let's also talk about Whizzard here. He's not going to do a lot of work.
Yeah, Whizzard is useless. In fact, I remember watching this on the live stream and counting the Whizzard credits. It's not many.
Because there are almost no assets. There are some assets, because this is Spiky Paladin. But there are not many assets that have a non-zero trash cost. That's right.
There's Caprice and Batty, I think,
and that's about it.
They're 1 credit.
So Faust is already down. Check on the HQ. Absolutely not worth breaking a wrap for 1 access from HQ at this stage. But Faust is down, so we're already learning stuff about what could be in this Whizzard deck.
Yeah, we know what this Whizzard deck is.
Yeah.
The Palana deck, much more interesting. Much more different.
Yeah,
it's true. It's not exactly what you'd expect.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the kind of Glacier, clones on people, rushing at Nisays and
it's not the RP deck with some tweaks.
Yeah, that's it.
It's definitely
there's a few other bits in there. So I'm not sure. Okay, so this was the decision Ben was making. He was thinking about a celebrity gift. So he reveals Christian Grid, Nisei Mark II, a Caprice and Assassin, and a Crick. I think it's an Assassin. And Robins. And I mean, it's behind a wrap.
Yeah, I think it's a decision.
If you've got David, you might run it.
Yeah, wasting your David's
hitting a Nisei, but hitting a Nisei or Caprice, both are good.
Yeah, that's 2 and 5, and you have to get rid of the David counter. And paid for the David when you've only got 6 money.
But then you installed Arson HQ, so we get to play guess that ice. Is it Assassin or Crick or something else? Because I couldn't tell what Assassin was. I feel like out of those 2, it's probably Crick. I feel like Assassin goes in the remote.
Yeah, maybe, but he's also rich, so...
Install 2 double and single advance, so I'm going to bet that's Caprice and Nisei. Seems reasonable.
I think that does seem reasonable.
And it seems reasonable that if you're Alex here, you want to at least try to pressure it, although he's very poor.
5 credits. He's got a Faust, but...
He's got a Faust.
There's a lot, depending on what he's got in hand, there's...
I've had worse. So I've had worse into Faust is not the worst idea, so he's going to check the remote toll booth. That's quite punishing. So he's going to lose 3.
So he can pay 3 more cards to play a side game.
Yeah.
If he does, he'll have 1 credit trust the Whizzard trust the Caprice and 1 and get Nisei. He's probably worth 3 cards.
He's got 1 credit for side game though. It's a side game he's going to lose.
Of course, side game to lose.
Yeah.
So you don't play him.
So he does bounce, and it's also the break count. So I expect we're going to see a scored Nisei. That was fast. I mean, it's also going to kill the employee strike, which is relevant. Although having said that, the Palana, I don't know, the top is expensive. Is it any chance he's overextended? He's only got 8 credits. He's going to go down to 5.
But he's going to start getting more from his idea ability now.
Yeah, and he's got an Nisei counter. Okay.
He probably needs that because you sort of rely on your idea ability as a lot of your equal.
Might get some pressure on R&D now, maybe though. I mean, it depends. So spooned. Okay, this is an interesting interaction. Okay, so he's going to spoon on the toll booth because he wants to kill it and kill the Caprice while he's there. But Ben is wondering if he can use his Nisei counter. He can, of course, during approach, which would it would waste the spooned, but it would save the remote. So, I mean, don't forget.
Yeah, he can't do it after he hits the 3 credits, though, right?
That's true. Yes. So it has to be during approach.
Because Alex would get the chance to break before he gets the Nisei counter opportunity, and then it was like.
And because spooned triggers when you finish breaking the subroutines, not after
when
the
you pass
counter.
the ice,
Then it would be trashed immediately with no window finish.
Spoon said,
so
first time you pass a piece of ice in which you broke all the subroutines, then you could hit the toll booth tax and still.
So he doesn't spend his Nisei counter, which means he's going to lose this remote. Because
harsh.
Even though this is technically a side game, there's nothing to stop Alex running him multiple times to tax him. So
yeah, there's also a same old thing down. I think that's probably what swung it. If there wasn't a same old thing on the board, I think you probably use the Nisei counter to save the toll booth. But seeing as you just same old thing spooned.
You think you would same old spoons?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if he didn't.
It's the same match. I guess he didn't spend his toll booth money. It's the same match.
No,
so
exactly.
Yes, you may.
It's exactly the same as next year.
Okay. And the Nisei counter is very valuable for defending servers. Agendas next to a Caprice.
You still need a piece of ice under the Caprice though, which he's now lost.
That's true. So he needs to now build a server again.
Had that not happened, then I think you easily chain that server. That's a very good server.
It's a good start, and you could put a Saiyan Assassin on the outside of the toll booth, and
or a Batty.
Yeah, or a Batty in there.
Anything.
And it becomes a real pain.
Or you just rely on the fact that he can't get through toll booth 2 or 3 times each turn. He's got to win 2 side games in a row with a Nisei counter. I think it was actually all the server that Ben needed. So Alex did the right thing killing it, and it sort of swung the game. I think Ben was looking like, great, I just used the server till I win now, but that's not the case at all.
Yeah, so now he's got to build a new server. But he's still come out ahead. I mean, he has an agenda and he has an Nisei counter. Alex did destroy a server. He didn't get an agenda out of it or anything. So, I think it's, I have to say Ben's ahead. Although Alex now also has the wild side down. So, while that is going to be recurring money for Palana, it does mean that Faust is going to get fed. So that does
and Alex just gets set up.
Yeah. And he's got a clone chip as well, so I'm not sure if any programs are in the bin, but there might be Davids and stuff, or Parasite. So he's installed the Mimic. I wonder if he's worried about swordsman, that kind of thing, in Shinteki. If nothing else, okay, so you see a Crick, which Fast can break.
Hits 2 cards,
if you want
sure,
to.
otherwise
2 cards for an access.
Priest is coming back.
Yeah,
he's getting the access for Gardeners.
Yeah. I wonder, so that the Mimic also is good against Kamainu, that kind of thing. So Kamainu and Kamainu definitely, and Swordsman possibly are cards that could very easily be in his deck.
I would assume both. Especially with Batty, I know Batty's in his deck. Kamainu.
Yeah. I think Kamainu will be because it says, as Ben calls it, spiky power. Kamainu's a fairly natural choice. So I think Mimic is a good choice on that. Because obviously that's bad for the first. So he's having to think. Yeah, he was having to think before he accessed. I'm not sure why. Clone chip medium, I assume. Seems like the obvious reason he was having to think before he accessed. There's no other. I can't think of any other interactions he was going for. He'd only get 1 counter, but he might consider going back a few times. As it is, though, he's spending 2 cards to break the Crick, so he can't go regularly.
He can check it every turn.
He can check it each turn. No more than that.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got Ice in the remote. So I just can use Liberate. Okay, it's fair to say Alex is forming a bit more pressure now as well.
Yeah, as soon as the wild side went down, all these other pieces just sort of fall down.
They just start appearing in the hand, right? You get 2 cards a turn. So we've seen the pancakes now as well, so he's now back on 4-click turns, which is going to obviously do a world of good.
Fast Sucker Mimic and the same old thing in a clone chip for recurring whatever the hell he might need. I think he's pretty much just got to find the agenda now. Get some access.
And that clone chip can, bring back Faust or something if there's a Batty's swordsman or some mad thing going on. Yeah, that's right. So I think he's in a good position at the moment.
But Ben
does have the agenda.
Rebuilt the server and he's got a little bit of money back.
Yeah, he has built the server and he's got an upgrade and some other card. 2 upgrades, possibly could be an agenda, could be a Philotic or something.
So we've got turntable down.
Turntable is quite big and
makes him to use that Nisei counter.
That's right. Yeah. So I wonder if. You don't spend it on a speculative R&D run, but they're the ones that you lose, Okay, so he didn't. He just bounced off the wall static. But he's going to install double advance in the remote, so...
Crashing whatever was installed there before.
trashing something that was there before. It could be anything.
Cheeky snare.
He gives a snare.
Yeah.
I happen to know he does like to use snares to defend his service. So there's the commanding. Okay, so Alex was expecting it, I assume. Clench it, Parasite, in fact, because he has the one sucker counter. So he can use that to destroy the commanding outright. Saves him, I don't know, 4 or 5 credits probably from Mimic. And also gets rid of it for good. Assassin, okay. So Assassin is reasonably taxing. The clench chip is gone, so we can't David, so he has to Faust.
He's got no data sucker tokens at all, so that will cost him 4 cards. Right?
Yeah, 2 to boost, that's right, 2 to break. He could hit a trace, I guess. I mean, he's got more money, but yeah. So we are going to get a Nisei. Interesting. We've got a Nisei counter use, but not a Caprice raise. So, what's the upgrade? Is it a Batty?
Yeah, maybe, or it's always being sneaky and he's got the Christian Grid in there. Because he had Christian Grid in his hand, didn't he?
Well...
Because Batty, you'd probably res and fire, right? Because 3 cards... How many cards he had in
I'm
hand?
not sure what you... Oh, you fire the trace on Assassin, do you? Maybe. So he's going to install Clench Chip and Clench Chip with David and run back. Curiosity peaked.
So he installed the Clench Chip.
So he's going to run back again. He's going to steal a Fetal. Interesting. I like Fetal behind Kamanu, by the way. That's quite nice. And it was a Chrysium, which he's happy to leave there because it's obviously a bluff. Now, I was being coy before because we watched this live, of course.
We did.
Of course we knew it was a Chrysium. Well, I remembered.
Yeah.
So it's Christian. So he obviously.
I do vaguely remember that.
Yeah. So obviously not having the Caprice in hand, but wanting to push through. And this is it. The threat of a Caprice is often enough to make people not run remotes.
For sure. And also Batty, you could have, especially with that assassin there.
But you can keep him honest. You can run it. Yeah, that's all right. But the fact that you used the Nisei counter and didn't res a Caprice was obviously very telling to Alex, who all worries about Caprice went out the window at that point. Okay, so we've got Jackson now. Hopefully get a real Caprice.
It would have been a really good bluff if it was a Caprice.
What, it's been a Nisei? That's not a good bluff. This just seems impractical. You just do the side game, right?
He drops the David, runs back in. You just do
now
David
it is
it's a Caprice.
Yeah, sure. Junebug. Now that would have been a good play.
Or if it's a Batty, when he runs back in with no money, you fire the trace for Batty for fire the trace for Trash Program.
Junebug should have been Junebug. Batty Junebug. Would have been amazing. He would have gone back, as you can see.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
he won the game.
Yeah, but he also wouldn't have got to this stage in the regional. Yeah. Okay, so check on the archives. I imagine Mr. Jackson's going to be looking for this one. Death Launcher archives. It's interesting though. So in fact, he doesn't return any cards. So he shows him
Fetal doesn't fire.
But he can't steal it. He's got no money.
Right.
So he shows him a Fetal he can't steal and 2 shocks, also a snare. Hits archive worse. Okay, sure. And then he gets this. Now he should shuffle up his hand. But that's fine. And Fetal obviously does nothing. So there is a Fetal in there, but that's 2 shocks now in archives. So that's a bit of a pain to. Right, he does pick up some cards. He also does now.
Shocks are an interesting one because
it will be correct in a moment. He did pick up a data sucker that he had played in the store a minute ago.
Right, okay.
So he will realise that. Yeah, there we go. So don't put your hand out. I mean, Alex isn't the worst I've ever seen, but he does tend to have an untidy run early.
He does, yeah.
So, okay. It's fine. Everything's sorted out. So, 2 shocks in archives. Let's talk about that. Now, this is immediately going to make data sucker not worth it. Just charge up.
Sure. I mean, the thing with Palana is there's not really much incentive. What incentive is there to run them in? And a lot of runners don't need to run them in. I suppose.
Well, Forcing Jackson here, but yeah, and Forcing Jackson. But is Alex tempted to run archives again to Forcing Jackson? No.
Yeah.
He's not, right?
I suppose when you've got no open remotes, it sort of is the ice for that remote.
Yeah.
When it comes to protecting.
Yeah, I mean it is, and it's like an unbreakable 2-net piece of ice or something. Yeah. Okay, and it's good against. It's good against Faust decks. I mean, cards are a resource, right?
Hitting them with R&D for deep digs is quite good, you know.
Just,
it's free if you're.
And it's free to
just
fire.
Literally just hit ping as they run.
Yep.
So I suppose it's good if you can find the deck slots for shocks. Shocks a nice card, but you obviously don't get the same utility you get out of it as you would in like IG or something.
Yeah.
Against noise, where running their bin is incentivized.
Yeah. Okay. So it's 2-2. Who's winning this game? Who's got the lead at the moment? So we've got a Nisei with no counter.
Alex?
I think it's Alex too. He's also now he's put down the
Knife.
medium and knife to R&D.
Yeah,
Suddenly that swings it a little bit, right? Yeah.
I just think that if Ben had like 25 credits and he could happily just, as soon as he finds the Caprice or whatever, throw it in the remote and have and score, then I think that's different.
Yeah.
But
So
at the minute, he's probably a bit too poor to install advance if he draws an Issei, and therefore that probably makes Alex.
Alex actually installed medium and knife to R&D and jacked out. He didn't continue the run. So he destroyed the wall of
Why
static.
did he install the medium?
I don't know. I just think he realised he had fewer cards in hand than he would have liked. He didn't want to, because he would have spent 2 to break.
Twigged that there's
There's going to be snares around,
and there's another fetal AI kicking in somewhere.
And there's at least one snare in the bin, and he can Jackson it.
left.
And there's a Jackson on the board, right? So it's not out of the question that if he
Snare shock.
if he was down to say 4 cards and spent 2 to break the crick, and then access, there's a risk here.
Yeah.
So
it would only be accessing 1, but shock would snare would have killed it.
So I'm guessing that's why. But I think when he's a bit more confident in number of cards in hand, he might start going into R&D. If he can get up to 7 card hands, he might run it. But Crick is quite a good one because it has to be fast that breaks it, right? Mimic, David aren't going to do anything. So it has to be fast that breaks it, which means it's going to be 2 cards. So
it's 2 cards every time, 1 cost.
So he's going to access with, say, 4 cards at maximum. So,
and when you've got things like Caprice and Batty that get trashed a lot, Crick is really good. Like not on Archives, like it's just a solid piece of.
Okay, so Jackson's going to put some stuff back. Let's see what we get.
I think probably some economy, maybe.
Well, snare and a fetal so far.
Caprice.
Destruction.
Okay. So it was economy.
So not Caprice. There's one in the bin.
Maybe there's one in that remote. No, that's still the Christian.
That's the Christian. That's still the Christian. He hasn't trashed it.
Right.
Doesn't need to, right? Alex might forget. Okay, so
maybe.
he's going to put some stuff back. Interesting. I think
that's fine. I think the 2 are obvious.
Having the snares in R&D,
Just whether you took the
I get the
economy or the Caprice. Depends how badly he needs a Caprice, right? I think probably quite badly. Eli this time. He could say more knife though, and I think he probably will have to at some point. She don't want to be breaking Eli constantly.
Yeah.
Oh, all that.
So it's worth mentioning, and this is possibly quite interesting. The reason he used the Jackson was because he installed another Jackson outside it, and yet he used both Jacksons but only returned 3 cards. Now he could have returned up to 6, so I'm not sure if there's a reason you don't return them 6 cards. So he had another Jackson, not defended by ice, and Alex ran it, and he decided to use both Jacksons to prevent the trash. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but if you're only going to turn 3 cards, why prevent the trash?
Yeah,
just let
trash Jackson and then put the Jackson.
And then you still
back.
have the 3 you can trash later on.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure.
You could bring and you have the option of bringing Jackson back. If you want
to. I don't know if there's a reason he wants to deny a successful run. Wouldn't benefit really.
Yeah. Well, you're right. And if he has the pieces he needs, he should have brought 6 cards back.
Also, he can trash it for free. So there is that. He's Whizzard.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's relevant. Though.
But you'd rather Jackson in the bin than in your remove from the game scenario. That's distinctly better.
Yeah.
The option of Jacksoning it back.
That's fair.
Or as you said, you just return 6 cards.
Sure.
That's
anyway, I'm not sure.
You bring the Caprice and the hedge fund back and the shock or something like that.
So Dirty Laundry and Archives with 2 shocks says I've had worse to me. Now he didn't hit it. I wonder if he's going to go again. Because it's money, but you're netting 3 credits, but you're also losing 2 cards. So it's not a great exchange.
No. But if you're going to discard it in your turn anyway, or you've got like a worse in your hand, that could be.
So I wonder if there's anything worse. So he's going to save on Levy. I'm not sure if something like Chronos Project is a card that Ben is running. I wouldn't put it beyond him. That'd be quite an interesting inclusion in this deck.
Yeah. Well, that scored would have been pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Because
I always think that, but it's one of those cards you never actually include it because the dream scenario is great, but often they just take it and then you don't have it.
Yeah.
So,
but here, if that was in the remote right now, he'd have scored it.
You can bluff 3 advance agendas a little bit in Glacier as well because this is why XP gets away with it so much because
never advance is huge, especially in an archetype people don't expect there to be never advance.
Yeah.
Which is why the one Philotic is so easy to score.
Yeah.
But I think Chronos Project in this
it is a concession and it's slots because you lose slots to agendas, right? Okay, so we're going to get I think it's one HQ indicated.
No, I think he was pointing at the Parasite.
I was pointing at the Parasite, I apologise. Yeah, okay, start turning the Parasite. Thank you. Yeah. So it's still 2-2.
Yeah, Alex is now
levied.
Going to get killed now because he's got a full deck.
how likely is it Alex has 2 levies in his deck? Is it
unlikely.
nil? Yeah, it's pretty low. So
Actually, it's the same old the first levy.
So does okay, right? We're getting another Dirty Laundry Archives. Okay, there it is, and I've had worse, sure, and a bunch of junk cards. So so he hit the I've had worse, fine. And I wonder now if it's remotely in Ben's mind that the plan here could just be to constantly hit him with net damage. If he just tries to tax him out as much as possible with Faust, and also because Faust is damage, right? Using Faust is damage.
Yeah.
If the aim of the game is to remove, like, deck him again, so we're gonna get run on our
Whizzard's ability.
Yes, that's true. That's
Free
Whizzard
trash. Yeah.
So he trashed it and got an access. He did get the medium counter. Does he go back for 2 cards and 2 accesses? Maybe he didn't. I mean, Palana's got 16 credits. So. He does have 1 click left. He takes credit. Okay.
Yeah, last click's a bit dangerous because if you do hit snare.
Yeah, tags your thing. Okay,
then
so
you're
going to
lose
get.
your wild type.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so Ben has installed Ice on R&D and on in the remote. I took credit. So now there are 3 cards. Well, okay, there's a Chrysium and 2 mystery cards in this remote. What do you reckon? Could it be? Well, at least 1 upgrade. Another Crick, good.
Crick and a Crick.
Crick's quite good and quite taxing even on the
He hasn't got the deck cycles to kill the second one either, has he?
No.
4 cards.
He doesn't. He only has 1 sucker. It looks like so. He can make it cheaper to break.
No, I think you'd save him up to kill it, right? So he breaks the first one and bounce.
Maybe you just didn't expect a res.
Yeah, but I mean he has 16 credits. He'd have resed anything. So 2 cards is pretty average for Faust to break in.
Yeah.
It can definitely have been worse. So maybe he was hoping to be able to bounce off the front piece of ice. He just can't bounce off a.
Maybe, yeah. So he broke the Crick and then jacked out. But he's continuing to money up. So he's now threatening, thanks to the Liberator, he's now threatening Palana kind of economically.
Yeah, but I mean, what's he to spend money on? He's got Faust.
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
It's fair, side games.
Yeah, side game money.
Yeah, it's a fair question. There's not a lot. I mean,
yeah, he's got a few operations stuff. He might use Mimic a bit.
He'll have.
There's some money, but I mean, he doesn't need 20 credits.
Yeah,
he can
clench it David, that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, so we get a 3rd piece of Arsenal already, sure. And now this Crick is close to dead. Just gonna run again. Itchy. That's quite annoying.
So he can use the Sucker Token and Mimic.
Sucker Token Mimic, yeah, but so then he can't then jack out because he can't trash the Crick anymore. Is that what he does? I mean, Sucker Token Mimic is good. I like that. That is it. He's going to face the Crick though. Okay, so I think he wants these accesses. So he's got a spare sucker to break the first, to make the first Crick a non-awkward strength, and he breaks it. And he breaks it and hits a snare. Okay. He's got plenty of cards. He's got plenty of cards. He's got 5.
He used, but didn't he throw 4 to get through the 2 cricks?
No, because he used a sucker and 1's low strength. He only used 2 cards to get through both.
2 cards to get through both. Right, yeah, of course. And Mimic through the first one.
So he saw a snare and an itchy, and then cleared the tag. So the tag from snare is a genuine threat here. Okay. So more cards lost. Interesting. Alex is down to like 2 or 3 cards. I wonder if Ben has any neurals, that kind of thing, any kind of proactive. That's interesting. So he scores a Philotic, and as I wonder that. If he has any kind of active damage, he does. I mean, do you consider leaving the Philotic there? He kind of would have liked him to steal an agenda or 2 on that run, maybe.
Yeah, if that had been double agenda, no, because he did the snare as well. If it was snare fetal, then he would have won the game for sure.
Yeah, he would have. Unless Alex drew instead of clearing the tag or something dangerous.
But then I think you win anyway.
Yeah,
so then you just kill one.
Blow stuff up. What's us money? It's good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Alex would continue to draw regardless, yeah.
Okay, so I like this. I like that Philotic. And as we mentioned already before, scoring a Philotic is quite possible because people don't necessarily expect, unadvanced agendas.
Alex got really unlucky there, didn't he? Like, I was thinking, like, hitting a snare and there was a Philotic in the remote. Yeah. He was lucky to survive, but...
That's true.
Even those unfortunate
you make your own luck, though. He made sure to access with
card
4 cards or whatever, 5 cards. So we went down to 2 only, that was okay. Yeah. Alright, so finally, Parasite does rush the Crick. We've got an upgrade on R&D, though. Okay, so I'm guessing Batty, since Caprice is not great.
So is he going for the kill now?
The pointing finger of the tier comes in, but don't worry, all is above board. We're alright.
It's not allowed to, your upgrade's not allowed to touch your R&D.
Yeah, we're all good. Just clarifying he's not upgrading all that stuff.
Yeah, I think he can get lost in the R&D.
So you let it across the camera.
If it gets,
Yeah, it can do.
If you
it can,
overlap,
it can
we'll do
disappear.
the half and half overlap.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. 'Cause it's important to see it. Like having it in front of R&D is okay. You can just put it on the ice as well.
I suppose it's up to you. If you lose your upgrade in your R&D, then it's probably a game lost to you.
Ooh, so this is interesting. So we've got a forked run on R&D, and Ben's going to resin fire a batty during the approach. So if he does win this side game, that's what we get.
He could use the crick to install another batty and do a go again.
Or so in fact he loses the side game now, and Alex does pull it out quite luckily. So presumably he would have trashed the Mimic or Faust, Mimic I guess, to force Alex to interrupt the Itchy with a Faust, 4 cards. It's a bit steep. Nevertheless, he was able to use the
but
Mimic to blow it up.
He couldn't have ended the run, so yeah, I think you just blow up the...
So we're going to access...
I think you killed the Mimic.
So he's going to access 3 cards.
2 versus 2, that was interesting.
Oh, like, come on, yeah. Nice net.
He's paying.
Seems good. So let's see.
Alex is almost through his deck again.
Oh, that's worse. Okay, I'll plot something else. But he's going to draw some more cards. Yeah, he's close to getting decked. I mean, I don't know how many are left. It must be like 10 cards.
Yeah, really not many, and he's already levied. Like that's this deck. I mean, I can see why Ben's done so well now that he's managed to go through this deck twice.
Yeah, but
with only giving up 2 points, like, that's pretty
getting spooned. So we're going to access some more cards. See some stuff I've seen before. Fetal he can and will steal. It's going to take some more net damage though.
Now you wish the Flotic was in that remote, no?
Yeah. Okay, alright. But R&D is now entirely undefended. And Ben only has 1 credit, so...
Yeah, I don't know how he scores.
He needs to have ice. He kind of has to give up on scoring for a moment because he has to answer this medium, right? So Alex can just draw and run.
I think that's his aim, right?
Now he's got the Jackson, he put the snares back in. So what do you do? Do you take 2 credits and...
You get 1 from your ability.
You get 1 from Palana for the wild side, and then put some snares in when he runs, and you've got a 3 click to install some ice.
Or you even put the shocks in as well, right? Because they don't.
He's gonna take 3, sure. It'd be nice to put some ice on R&D. I'm not sure what they might not have any as well, and it needs to be very cheap to raise.
Yeah, so it's some number of snares.
So wild side fires, and we're down to. Got these single-digit number of cards left now.
Yeah, it looks like 2 or 3.
Yeah, he's going to run R&D. He's going to access a bunch of stuff.
Oh, here we go. Okay. First. Is he accessing 5?
So yeah, he's going to access 6 in fact. No, wait, 5. I apologise. So Jackson's going to put back.
So we can only fire 1 snare.
2 snares and a shock. Yeah. Do you put back a snare and 2 shocks maybe?
Yeah, maybe. It depends if because he's accessing 5 or 6 cards now. So
he's put back 2 snares and a shock. He can only fire 1. So I think here's my ridiculous decision. I think as Alex here, you access as many as you can because you want to hit the second snare.
Yeah,
Hitting only 1 snare is bad.
Yeah, if he had 8 credits, there would be a different matter.
Yes,
access. I mean, even then,
I think it goes deep as you
survive.
can. Yeah. Now putting back shocks might have been a snare. Okay, he's going to pay for that. Yeah, that's an automatic decision as well, right? At this stage.
He's so poor.
But he's so poor. But that's how he's going to win. Yeah. He's not going to score agendas at this point. And he gets Caprice and Future Perk or something. Okay. But he's only got 2 cards left, so he can access more cards. Sees another snare, which gets trashed. No! And GFI, okay, so that's not game, of course, because GFI. But Alex is now on 6, and he's going to draw and clear the tag from the snare. So he's only on 3 cards or so, 4 cards maybe. But Ben... I mean, Alex only has 1 or 2 cards left in ID, so Ben...
So close.
It's crazy. If he had another Jackson... So all the Jacksons are at the game as well, so those snares are not coming back. That's
right, that's it. This is his whole hand.
And that is relevant, yeah.
Alex has a life of 7 now, or 6?
So there are... he does do a quick count. I did write it down. There are 7 cards in R&D. Relevant, there are 4 in the grip as well. There are none in the stack, you might notice. Wildside has sided its wilds for the last time. So... Alex is going to have a quick rifle through here, counting snares I expect. Looks like there's only 2. And only 1 shot, possibly no shots.
Ben has 3 credits, he's taking his Palana money already. Installs a clone check.
Yeah.
Installing things, Alex. That's your life.
That's it. But I think he needs David, I think that's why. Okay, so clone chip's going to parasite the Yagura instead. I like it. And he's going to access 6 cards out of 7.
Right.
So he's going to access something we don't know what it is. Another thing we don't know what it is. Another thing we don't know what it is. Caprice. That's the second Whizzard credit if you count.
Right. He might trust the shot.
And Batty.
And another Whizzard credit.
Yeah, he might trust the shot. and something we don't know what it is. So there was one unseen card left in R&D. I mean, it could be a snare.
He's going back in. Is he? If it's a snare,
No,
it's no use.
he only has 2. So he's got 2 clicks left, and he's also now out of cards. So
How many points is left in the game?
That's a good question.
10,
So
11, 9?
except that technically there are 7 on the one side, so 11 on the other side. So there's 9 gens left in the game.
9 points.
So let's say there's 2 GFIs, maybe, and future perfects, or 3 future perfects. Who knows?
Whatever. There's 3 3-pointers of some kind.
Yeah.
Probably in HQ.
Well, there's 1 unseen card in R&D, there's 1 unseen card in archives, and there are 4 or 5 unseen cards in R&D.
There is an absolute minimum of 1 agenda in HQ.
Yes, yeah, and Alex has come to that same conclusion. He decides to just take credits. So I think at this point he just thinks that he can force Ben to deck out because he hasn't got the money to score an agenda before he decks himself.
Yeah.
And if it comes close, then he can just, having moneyed up, Alex can just run the remote. He's in a position where he really, really, really doesn't want to run anywhere because his breaker is life now. So he has 4 cards left in his hand. 3 in his hand now, having played the clone chip. So he really, really doesn't run anywhere. Because let's say he runs through an ice and spends 2 to break the crick. At that point, a shock leaves him on 0. So, shocks become deadly. So yeah, it's a tough decision. And he can't run our archives, for instance, to check if there are shocks. Because then they fire.
I like to think when he used that double Jackson earlier. If he just Jacksoned back.
Maybe if he had a Jackson now, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
He could
or
put
when he was
back.
running, if he'd just put the 6 cards back and put all the shocks back as well.
But Alex has decided that. I think Alex decided at this point he's just not going to bother running because he can take 4 credits every turn. And now the fact that Ben's playing hedge fund changes things a little, maybe, because Ben is on the clock, right? He has to find a way to score 3 points.
Yeah,
and that takes
Ben
resources.
Alex take it in time, right?
Alex was. That's a good question. I don't actually know who's the highest seed. Oh, sorry, he's winning. So right, you're right. It's not a tie. So assuming that Ben scores a 3-point agenda, yes.
So Ben has to. It's forced. Ben has to score.
So instead of defending R&D, Ben has installed a 3rd piece of Arsenal HQ. Now, where could the agendas be?
I hope there's 1 in archives because that's hilarious. Because he can only run it once, right? There's shocks.
That's
in
true.
there.
That's true.
Literally,
Yeah, that's true.
He does that.
That's true. And now, so he's going to install a clone chip.
So he's 2 cards in hand.
2 cards remaining. Oh, I'm sorry. No, now he's down to 3.
Oh, no, he's on 3.
But he needs it for. And he's going to play. I was going to same old knife. That's relevant on HQ
versus Rainbow.
Rainbow,
yes,
very strong anti-knife play. So he's going to suck a mimic
and knife fires.
Yeah, and knife. Now neither player realise this, but the TO finger of destiny is about to play. There we go. Knife does trust Rainbow because it has all subtypes, correct? So now Alex is deciding if he should even bother breaking the crick. He's going to spend a couple of points to do it. And Clone Chip can install a David at this point, so he can use a David to get through the Wrap for no cards. It's fine. So he's going to suck a Faust through the crick, Clone Chip a David, and break Wrap. And he's going to access and pray to God there's not a snare and he's miscounted.
Or a fetal and it loses the game.
He would win the game with fetal though.
Right.
I think
he's got 2 cards in hand.
I think he's got 2 in hand. Yeah. GFI, so we're good. And there we go. They're all agendas.
And then
but there was a fetal, but he had.
Oh, the last card in the deck was shock.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So there was a fetal in hand, but it wouldn't have killed him because he had 2 cards in hand. He had 4 at the start of the turn. He installed a clone chip and he same old knifed, and he spent 1 card using Faust to break crick with a sucker. So he was down to 2 cards on access. Fetal would not have killed him, but that was pretty close.
The last card in the deck being shock was pretty unfortunate.
Yes, because if that had been 1 card higher up, then Alex would have taken net earlier.
Yeah.
All the maths would have been off by 1 card.
Yeah.
So yes.
Or he would, if it was like nearer the top, he might have run through it a few times. Well, no, he'd only hit it once. He'd have Whizzard trashed it almost certainly.
I mean, is there a part of you that wonders if you should just install the fetal in the remote and start advancing it? Because he can't get into that remote without spending a couple of cards, probably.
Yeah. But that would only bring him to 6.
He needed money, and I think if Alex hadn't run that turn, maybe that's what Ben would have started to do.
He also needed 3 points.
He did need 3 points, that's true, yeah. So what was in his hand? He had a GFI, a fetal, and 2 Niseis, I think. I don't actually see what it was. It might have been 2...
GFA
it was only 1 fetal.
Nisei
I think it was 2 Niseis.
Yeah, and 2 Niseis.
Because there was only 1 scored and none stolen.
Right.
And there must be 3, right? Yeah. So, yeah. So, only scoring the GFI helps, but the GFI does also win the game for Alex if he gets it. but
Yeah,
the
so do all
fetal
of the
would kill
others.
him if he gets it. So there's a bluffing element there. Maybe you push the fetal in, pretend it's the GFI, and just really hope he tries to steal it.
Yeah, was there anything else in the remote as well? I don't think there was an agenda in the remote. So maybe
No.
you install...
It was a second upgrade. We know there was no agenda because the Jackson was in there when there were 2 upgrades.
Right.
So the Christian was there. I'm going to
And some
assume
upgrades,
a Batty.
yeah.
It could have been a Caprice, I guess.
Which you really wish has been on HQ now.
That would have been pretty good. Wait, for Crick? No. Why would that be good?
Well, you could fire that. You could fire it on Crick. You could fire it while he's running in, and then either end the run off the rainbow.
Oh yes, there's a rainbow, of course. So you could have done it.
Or you could bring a Caprice in.
So you could have done it before the knife trashed the rainbow.
Or you could Crick bring a Caprice in.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think you install the GFI in the remote, just thinking, well, that's what's going to have to happen for me to win the game if he doesn't kill himself. So I'll put that there because that's safer than HQ.
If it is, it depends what the upgrade is, but yes.
Yeah. And then, well, he still got through an assassin, so
yeah,
he could have done with David.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
It was very close.
There's a few that game could have come down to R&D stacked in a slightly different way, net damage landing in a different order, hitting different pieces, and it could have been totally different. I think that was a very interesting game. I mean, Alex was very good at getting his same old things down super quickly.
Yeah,
making sure he didn't ring click forward, never floated a tag, so he didn't lose any same old things, so he could definitely levy.
Yeah,
all that sort of stuff. Alex played it as well as he could, and
I think
calculated risks all the way through. So
I think Alex played it very well, and he was very careful, like you say, with his accesses, and he played around the kind of known unknowns. He knew what he didn't know, which was where the damage was going to come from and how much it was going to be. Yeah. So he kind of played around expecting damage at times. So,
but in Ben's defense, if he'd played against anyone who was even a smidge less cautious or less
right. If there'd been one
flawless than Alex was, they were dead.
And that deck punishes runner error, right? If the runner makes an error,
me or you, Jono, in that exact situation, we were both dead so many times ago. I would just been
well, I can't blame Whizzard. So
I'm I'd have installed the second medium and rolled my sleeves up and gone sod it, and I go, I died.
Yeah.
Oh, that's B.
Yeah.
No, it was really good.
It's a very close game and a very long game as well. Over
for
half an hour.
For your 100th game, Jono, that's the one you chose.
Well,
your 100th game.
Here we go. All right. Okay, good. So,
party. We're having a party after this, guys. We're going to the Near Reading Grid 100 video party.
Yeah, that's true. There's only 2 of us. It's a bit sad.
Maybe when this comes out, we could organise that. Or maybe we'll have it in Nats.
Sure.
Yeah. After we win the team tournament.
Oh yeah.
We'll invite everyone to the pub for a celebrate about 100 videos on Near Running Grid.
So anyway, in our 101st video, 101st video, we're going to stick with Alex, and he's going to come up against some scrub called Dave Hoyland.
Oh, really?
So that is, suffice to say, a bit of a clash.
In the losers bracket.
Bit of a clash of the Titans in the losers bracket. That's right.
It's round 3. But
Bit of a clash of the Titans, it's fair to say. Now, Alex is playing his I Don't Need Friends IG deck.
Yeah.
And Dave is playing his Whizzard deck, which is not done with Hawk, is the other Whizzard.
Right, yeah. So Dave was taking, because we chatted about on the podcast, obviously, we had them both in the next day after the tournament, and they chatted about it, and they both bought Whizzard IG.
They did both bring Whizzard IG.
But Dave bought neither of the decks you expected. So
yes.
He was playing Gentleman's IG and
Siphon
Hoyland Whizzard,
yeah.
Hoyland Anarch, which is just Anarch with lots of siphons.
Yeah, and you just change the ID for the meta. And Alex was on Prison IG. I keep calling it No Friends IG. I mean, I don't like it, but it's Prison IG.
It's Museum IG.
It's got museum and all kinds of horrible stuff.
It's that one.
Yeah. So that'll be an interesting one to see. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to say the things I say at the end of every video.
You do that.
Yeah. Viewer, you can find all of our websites at the
all of our websites. We have one, Jono, one website.
I'm tipsy on the glory of 100th video. So, viewer, you can find all our videos at the website nearrunningGrid.co.uk, and you can find us on Twitter and on Facebook as well. You can also find us on Patreon if you'd like to support the channel. Don't forget, you can also listen to us on the Dead Channel podcast, which you should do because it's great.
Yep.
Thank you, Joey, for helping me.
Very unbiased review.
Yeah, and for heckling my outro. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.